Today I'm reviewing the Aqua Pro. Hi Vapists, it's Darth Naga here again, bringing to you another episode of Full Steam Ahead. Today I've got the Aqua Pro for review. This was sent directly to me for the purpose of review by Chang Yu Kim, Mr. Footoon himself, but the tank itself is available on Nature Vape for £45. And for a Footoon tank, that is a really good price. But let's dive down into the down view, and I'll show you how to build it because it's a little bit tricky. I'll show you how to build it, and then we'll come back up and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty, let's go to the down view now. Okay, here we are up close and personal with the Aqua Pro from Footoon. As you can see, here's the box, very nicely done. Nice matte gloss effect going on there. We've got the scratch and sniff panel on the back there. Just a little thing, it tells you Easy Simple Pro. I have no idea what that fucking means. And on the back you've literally got a list of all the contents, but ignore that because I'll show you it in a second. So let's have a look what you get in the box. I'll throw that on the floor, that's fine. Okay, so inside you get a little foam insert, which has got the extension tube just here, and also just get that out. There is the tank itself. Now I know it looks pretty complicated, but I'll break it down for you in a minute and you'll see just how simple it actually is to sort out. So let me put these two to one side and let's have a look at the rest of it. So inside here you've got the Aqua Pro leaflet. What this does is basically teach you how to do the coiling, which I'll show you in a minute. Full exploded diagram of the tank itself and the constituent parts, including a parts list, and literally just a setup, the different types of telling you how to do your coils there for the actual tank itself. So that's quite helpful. Now let's have a look in here. Underneath here, as always, with all the Footoon sort of stuff, you get a lovely little bag of spares. This actually includes different coloured O-rings, so you can make a change from the normal green. You can have a set of full grey O-rings throughout. You've got a couple of coils, which I'm probably not going to be using. And you've also got these little bungs. Now these little bungs are great, I'll show you when you use them in a minute. But that's basically for helping you run it in single coil mode. Now, you also get the most helpful thing in the bottom, is this little kit here. This includes your screwdrivers necessary, including your Allen key, but it also includes a couple of posts for things such as the coil master, and that's because these are exactly the right diameter to slide inside the Aqua Pro. Again, I'll show you that in a second when I'm building the coils. You also get a small pack of cotton bacon, the cotton bacon bits, cotton bacon V2. Is this the V2 one? Oh no, this might be the original actually. Ooh, nice. Okay, so let's put those back in there for now. Keep those bits out. Put that to one side. Okay, so here's the extension piece. Now, breaking this up, let me just zoom in a bit so I can show you this. So breaking this up into its constituent parts, you've got your drip tip, you've got the lid, hold on 2 seconds, you've got the lid bit here, that's just a simple screw on lid, screws onto the PCP MMA tank here, and that's just simply where you put your juice in. So it's a nice easy top fill tank. Okay, at the bottom you have this little locking ring, and basically that holds the tank to the deck here. So there's your little locking ring. Now to remove this deck, I have had to use something, well, like a 510 adapter just to hold on to it, and then you simply give it a little pull. 2 secs. There we go. So you take this off of here, and that's your entire tank part there. And here's the deck. Now I know what you're thinking. Fucking hell, Darth, that looks really weird. Yep, it does, and I'll explain why it looks so weird in a minute. Okay. The tank itself, this little piece that I showed you earlier, is known as the extension piece, and what you do with that is you screw it into here like so, and basically this acts as two things. Number one, it extends the tank from 2mm to 4mm, so if you want more juice capacity you use this. What it also does, and which I find rather natty, is that it acts as a juice control. So you've got this little bit here, this little plunger type bit here, and the juice flow holes are in the bottom there, as you can see. And when this goes on and you tighten it down a bit, it actually alters how much juice can go in and out of the tank, which I think is really cool. Right, let me go and make a couple of coils, and then I'll bring back to this and I'll show you exactly how to wick it. Coiling it's relatively simple, but like I said, I'll show you how to do it all. But I need to go and make a couple of coils first, so give me 2 seconds. Okay, so here we are with, now this, I'm going to show you how to coil this. Now in the pack you get these two little rods which fit perfectly in the coil master. Any of them, doesn't matter, V2, V1, V4, whatever the fuck, they all fit. Now these fit perfectly into these little posts like so. So it's worth building your coils on these and making it easy. Even if, I'm not being funny, even if you don't use the coil master, you know, you just literally hold it like that, wind your fucking wire around it, jobs are good. Now what I've got here is a couple of pre-built stainless steel coils, as you can see there. So let me get one of these and I will show you how you do it. Right, this is how I do it. I'm sure there's probably much fucking simpler ways or whatever, but this is how I do it. So I hold my coil, let me do it with the top one first, that way you can see it a bit better. Right, so I hold this bit here, hold the coil there, I push that through so the coil is then caught by the pole itself. I then slide these over the top like that, and then what I do is you just very gently, there's two little grub screws that go in these holes here. Let me show you that up close. So there's two little grub screw holes here, and the coil legs basically slide down into those holes. So what I'll do is I'll do this one for you on camera, and then I'll quickly do a jump cut where the second one will be installed. I'll do that off camera just to make the whole video a little bit quicker. So basically all you do is just pull down your leg, and what I do is I sort of bend it back behind like that, and that's down in the gap, down in the little gap there, and I've pulled it to the back. Okay, and then you do the same again. You can manipulate it by hand like I'm doing here, or you can just manipulate it with a pair of tweezers. Talking of which, where are my fucking tweezers? They were here a minute ago. There's a pair of tweezers, I'll do. Right, so yeah, it's just a case of manipulating the little bit of wire into the little hole there. 2 seconds. So that is the coil, the tank. That is the coil basically in place. You can see the little wires are in those little holes there, those little sockets, and the grub screws will just go into those two sockets and tighten down on top of both the coil legs. So this is a good time, of course, to straighten up your little coil and everything. Make sure it's all centered well and ready to accept the cotton. Now the cotton's the interesting bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little jump cut, screw these all into place, or actually position the other coil, then I'm going to come back and screw it all in and show you how that works. So give me 2 secs. Okay, as you can see, I've got my two posts in place now with my two wires. What I should have probably done is done that one on the other side, but hey ho, shit happens. Right, let me just put these little grub screws in. And what the grub screw will do as you tighten it down is it should push the little wires into place perfectly. Yeah, so they're both proper nicely trapped under there. Just give them a little wiggle, make sure they're good. Just slide that out real quick and put that back in that way around. That's it, perfect. Right, so tighten these grub screws down. That's that one. And then, oh, there we go. Right, so that was that one. And we just do the other one. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, so as you tighten it down again, like I say, what we'll do, don't worry about the wires being a little bit out of place in the little sockets, because what actually happens is the grub screw itself, there we go, the grub screw itself actually pushes the wire down and into place. So as you can see, it comes out the side of there looking absolutely fine. Trapped underneath the grub screw nicely, all is good. Right, so it's at this stage that you can actually take these little bits off. But what I would advise is just quickly tidying up, making sure that the coils are all sort of semi-lined up properly, because it will be difficult to do it once you've sorted it out. So I'm just literally making sure it's all tickety boom. Right, let me just take these two out. 1, 2. Okay. Clip these bits, clip the extra bits, the extra wires off, the extra leggies. Just clip them off. And them off. Right. Now, what I'm going to do is quickly give these a tidy up, and then I'm going to get back to you with a little jump cut after I've tidied these up a bit and made sure they look good. Okay, so 2 minutes. Okay, so once you have, I will need this little device now. Once you have the coils sorted, which these are lined up pretty well, they're not perfect, but then obviously I've got to fire them up and pinch them and stuff now. Anyway, let me just zoom out. Ooh, zoom out a bit. There we go. So I've got to fire these up and pinch them off anyway. So let's just give them a few pulses. Right, obviously we've got some hot legs straight up right there on both sides. Bit of pulsing should clear it. Give it a bit of a rake like that, and then on this side like so. Hopefully, yay! Are we good? We are good. Whee. Right, so there you go, glowing beautifully, ready to, slight hot spot on this one. Just do that one again for good measure. Yeah, glowing beautifully, evenly, nice. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. Right, now, here comes the interesting part, the actual wicking. Now, obviously the airflow comes in underneath the coils through the holes there, and that basically leads directly to airflow underneath. Now at this point, if you wanted to do single coil, you can use one of the little bungs in these little bungs here, and what you do is you shut off the airflow control on one side, so there's no airflow coming in from one particular side. You then stick the little bungs in these little holes here, and that basically stops any juice getting in. So, and here's the fun part. You get your cotton, for which fortunately I have 2 already pre-made pieces, like so, and I've already Scottish rolled them. Don't know why they call it a Scottish roll, I guess probably because it was invented in Scotland. He says, with mirth and merriment. Hello, Logan. That's my little cat, Logan. He's just decided to come in through the back door. We leave the back door open because it's fucking sweltering. So, you push this and you go through the hole in the side of the post, through the hole at the other side, all the way through the coil, and you reach in with a pair of tweezers and you just tease it through quite nicely, like that. Okay? So, there's two ways of doing it. You can either do it like this, chop these off, and leave it like that, and the juice will still soak down on the wicks. But there is a better way of doing it to ensure that it holds more juice. Now, let me just put this wick through, and I will show you exactly what I mean. Now, if you don't have tweezers that are small enough to go through, a natty little trick I learned was that if you get a slightly longer piece than you need, and basically do a nice proper sausage like that on the end, put it through, and then you've got it here to pull out the other side. So you just do that. You see? Yes, it works. Right. Now here's the interesting bit. Now you can use, there's a little Allen key screwdriver type thing. Hold on 2 seconds. There's a little Allen key screwdriver type thing that you've got. So if you haven't got like nice little natty tweezers like mine, what you can actually do, and let me just show you this now, what you can actually do is poke this up through there. So you've got two ways, like I said, you've got two ways of doing it. You can chop it off there, wind that bit up there, and then and all it does is the juice soaks onto the little knobble of cotton just there. What I like to do, weirdly enough, is get this proper up there like, then proper up there like, then pull it through with a pair of tweezers all the way. So you just keep tugging on it, keep tugging on it, keep tugging on it, till it's out the top like that, right? You do that all the way around, and then you snip that flush. That way, what you've then essentially got is a nice bit of fluffy cotton right at the top to soak up a shitload of juice. So what I'll do is I'm going to do the same on all four corners. I'm going to jump cut though, so it's not really boring. Alright, 2 secs. Okay, so I've now got all the little bits of cotton sticking up through the top, as you can see there. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these flush with the top. Hold on, 1. So that's 2 done. 3 and 4. Okay, so a little bit of tidying up, obviously, nice bit of housekeeping. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, I've chopped all the wicks down now, and it's all nicely ready to go, ready to juice up. There's a little tiny bit sticking up above the post, and that's brilliant. And this way of doing it, you can tuck them in there and cut it and then tuck it, and it you know, that's great. But this way I've found wicks juice a hell of a lot easier. ATVG and whatnot, no problem for this tank at all. Now, to control the airflow, now this one's an interesting one. You see the holes in there and there, yeah? They're controlled by these little valves on the side, a la Aqua FX? Aqua UX. So very similar to the Aqua UX. And these little things, what you actually get in your packet is a little screwdriver. Now this is one of those things, a lot of people, you know, talk about adjusting the airflow and stuff like this. I don't personally. Once I've set it, I don't adjust it. So I don't see this as a problem. And for me, I like having this thing wide open. But all you do is you put your little screwdriver, little flathead screwdriver onto there, and you just twist it to change the airflow. You see, I personally like it wide open, so I'm going to make sure it's all adjusted for wide open airflow, which it currently is. That's great. Check the airflow holes. Yeah, they're all nice and open as well. Look at that. See straight through them. You can straight through. Yeah, so there you go. You can see straight through, and that's great. So what I'm going to do is, I suppose I shall show you how to fill it, but we'll do that. I suppose we can do it from here actually. What am I talking about? So what you want to do is put this tank back together once you've got the cotton on. First of all, let me wet the wicks. Let me wet these wicks. So just wetting the wicks now. Little blob of e-liquid, also a blob on the coils, just to get it started, you know, get it all primed up, make sure it's all happy, and I'm ready to take a nice load of juice. So yeah, just priming the wicks now. That's all done, ready and primed. Now, what you can do is you can, if you take the lid off of this, what you can actually do is you can fill the tank before you put it on. Oh, sorry. You can fill the tank before you actually put it on top of the mod, and as long as you're using the juice flow control section, it won't actually leak. So let me give you an example. So if I go like this, I can fill the tank up completely with juice and it won't leak. Like so. So I'm filling this up right now. And that is it, completely full, and there is no liquid coming out the bottom at all. No liquid at all, look at that. None dripping out at all. Put the lid back on. Let's put this one on here. Right. Smidgen of leakage there, obviously, because I'd overfilled it like a twat. So, there we go, that's it, ready to go. No juice coming through, it's nice and sealed. You can take it off, you know, rebuild your tank, put it back, easy money. Put it back together, you just simply slide this, make sure you've got the airflow holes lined up correctly with the top of it, and just push it all the way on till it clicks. Then slide this bit off, like so. Then simply put your connection cap back on, so twist it round until you find a flat point, push it on and move it so that the little notch there, see that little notch, is lined up with these. So there's two flat pieces on it, on the bottom of the plastic tank. This little ring locks onto those two flat pieces, you twist and that locks it all in place. Ready to go. Alright, so let me put this on my mod and then put my drip tip in place, and let's go up to the up view and give it a vape. Okay, go to the up view now. Okay, here we are back in the up view with the Aqua Pro. So what do I think? I think two things. Number one, flavour's fucking incredible. Number two, it's the airflow is mental. So it literally, you can blow clouds like a motherfucker. The juice control, this little bit here, works really well. For 80 VG, obviously you have it wide open, and every time you have a vape, you can see the little bubbles coming up from where it's soaking into the cotton. Is it over-engineered? Maybe. But as I showed you in the video, it's really not that difficult to build, surprisingly. It looks more complicated than it actually is. The little grub screws tighten the coils down nicely. The coils on this one, for example, are coming out at 0.31 ohms, and I'm running it at 50 watts. And I've been using this thing for two and a half weeks now, and I've had no dry hits whatsoever from it so far. Keeps up really well, even with high VG juices. I've got some Matata from 12 Monkeys in here. You can buy the tank itself from Nature Vape. I'll put a link to their website there, naturevape.co.uk. And basically you can buy the tank for $44.99, which is again a really good price for a Footoon tank. The only gripe I actually have is I really don't have much bad to say about this. I find it really easy to build on. A little bit fiddly with the cotton, like a tiny bit fiddly, but not anything that's going to turn you off it. Do you know what I mean? Much better than the Aqua UX. I had nothing but problems with the Aqua UX. The pin on it, the firing pin, everything. Just I didn't enjoy reviewing the Aqua UX because I do think that Footoon bought the Aqua UX out almost like a sort of, right, you know, he'd already had this in mind, the Aqua Pro, and he bought the UX out purely to get people satisfied in the meantime, because he releases a new tank once every sort of 6 months or so, and it had been a little while coming since the Aqua 2 and the Aqua, well, since the Aqua SE really. So he released the UX as a sort of interim tank, and then he bought this beautiful piece of equipment out. And honestly, it's lovely. It's stunning to look at. Sits really nicely on top of your mod. It's not huge, even with the 4mm tank adapter on it. It's not huge at all. It's nice and small. It's just about 23mm in diameter, the base, so it fits quite nicely on all your mods. It might be 22mm. No, I think it is 23mm. Let me look at the back. Hold on, 2 secs. Yeah, 23mm. I was right. So yeah, 23mm on the base, and the little airflow. These are the only fiddly bits really on the outside. Obviously the cotton's a little bit fiddly in the deck, but the fact that you can literally fill the tank up without even putting it on the mod, so you can fill it up, and it won't leak at all. You screw it down, you open up the juice control, bang, all good, ready to go. The airflow controls are a little bit fiddly, requiring a little tiny screwdriver, but you get that with the kit anyway. And with the airflow wide open, so much flavour, so much vapour. You don't even need to mouth along it. I mean, you can, don't get me wrong. If you turn the airflow completely off, it's similar to the UX in that respect. You turn the airflow completely off, and you've got a nice mouth along vape. It's slightly airy for a mouth along vape, but it is still a mouth along vape. So yeah, I personally really like this tank. It's been a tough fight between this and my Limitless RDTA as to which one I use on a daily basis. But I am more drawn to the Footoon tank simply because the flavour is fucking mental. So yeah. So massive thanks to Chang Kim for sending me the Aqua UX. Very, very pleased with it. The only thing I would say, PMMA tank, don't use tank crack juices because it will break. But, and seeing as it's the only one you get, you don't get a spare tank, which I find very strange. I think in future, you know, I think perhaps Chang Kim should have included, seeing as it's a PMMA tank, either included another PMMA bit or included a nice stainless steel tank to go in there. That would have been fucking cool. And I would probably use the stainless steel tank more, to be honest. But it's all good as it is. I've not cracked it yet. I've vaped all sorts of juices through it, but no tank crackers, no deliberate tank crackers. But I wouldn't recommend a tank cracker. However, he is making an Ultem tank for it that you'll be able to buy separately, and obviously Ultem's a lot more resistant to tank cracking juices like citrus and blackjacks and aniseeds and things like that. So, yes, is it worth $44.99? Fuck yes, it is. It's your next rebuildable, to be honest. I would get yourselves along to naturevape.co.uk and go and pick one of these up. Don't even question it. And come back here and thank me when you've bought one, because trust me, if you wanted something that had similar flavour to the Aqua 2, do you remember the Aqua 2, the good old mouth along vape? Yeah, from years gone by, like 2 years ago. This, honestly, absolutely is the closest you'll get since then. Don't get me wrong, the Aqua SE was fantastic, and you know, the UX was alright, and the other one, the Aqua FX, again, that was alright too. But this really is, but Footoon's back to his good sort of style now. I've literally had no problems with this thing whatsoever. The only con I can think of is the PMMA tank. The rest of it, it's a beauty to build on. It's really nice flavour, really good airflow, and it keeps up 80 VG juices, no problem at all. Really does keep up, and I'm really, really happy with it. Beautiful, thick, warm, flavourful vape. Love it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, grab one of these from Nature Vape today. Well worth the money. Alright Vapists, if you could like, share and subscribe using the link, using the button at the top, I'd be really happy. I'm trying to get my subs up as best I can, you know, releasing more videos and whatnot. So yeah, I'll see you in the next review video. And until then, my little Vapists, toot toot motherfuckers, toot toot.